Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Col Mayank Chaubey joins me, and we are going to talk about an incident that officially did not happen, but some unknown people came and took care of some known terrorists. This is what is the information we have. It has been confirmed indirectly, but not officially. Whatever it is, there are some things that are happening on the eastern front. As far as India is concerned, we've been looking at the unknown gunmen taking care of people that needed to be taken care of on the western front. Now the same thing is happening on the eastern front. Let's welcome Col Chaubey. Namaskar, sir. How are you?
Namaskar, Sriji. I am very fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. So take it away, please. This is something that had to do with an army strike that army is denying, but a lot of people are also confirming this. In fact, if you look at social media, viewers, I've given you at least 3 reference links. Go through that. They're crying rivers. This is an American phrase. It's like, itna ro rahe hain ki nadiyan beh rahi hain. So it did happen. So who did it? I'm sure Mayank Chaubey ji has the answer. Over to you, sir.
Sir, what happened, sir, exactly? I don't think anything happened at all. Sir, we were sitting here to discuss pleasantries. I don't know why you just pulled me in and you said that we are supposed to discuss something which never happened. So let us cook up a story, sir, okay? Let us assume that something happened. And as you said, it happened on our eastern borders. Okay, we take our minds to our eastern borders. So what happens on the eastern borders, there is a group, a very peaceful group which is active there. Sir. And incidentally, this peaceful group has got no backing on ground from the locals. Now, this is the ULFA within brackets I. So I stands for independent. So we'll come to the genesis of this group later, sir. What happens that the 𝗤𝗏𝗏, they came and they say that the Indian army has carried out drone strikes, and not just drone strikes. They say that waves of drones were employed and they came and hit the camps which they were sharing with 𝗟𝗔 and 𝗥𝗙𝗏 group and PLA Manipur. So it is an admission of facts. So whatever we speak today, it is coming from those people who are not very friendly to us. So they came and they admitted that there was a drone strike and the drones came in waves. And in the second wave, they say that missile strike was carried out. And they say that first the drones came and they struck the camps in Sagaing region of Myanmar. So if in case we are familiar with the political map of Myanmar, we have the Chin province on to the south side, and above the Chin province, we have the Sagaing region of Myanmar. So they say that drones come and they strike the camps. These camps are being shared by 𝗟𝗔 and 𝗥𝗙𝗏 group and the PLA Manipur group. And in the first strike, a self-styled Lieutenant General of 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Independent is taken down. Now, the name of this gentleman is Nayan Ahom, and he moves with an alias. So his original name is Nayan Medhi. So this self-styled Lieutenant General is the boss of the Eastern Command of the 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Independent Group. So he comes under fire and he loses his life, and his funeral services were being carried out. Now, all this, what I'm telling you, has come from 𝗤𝗏𝗏 themselves, and it is in the open source domain. So I have got no secret information, so to say, that exactly what happened there. So I had just picked up tidbits from various sources and I put them together. That's what we are discussing. So they say that the last strikes were being carried out, and again came a missile strike this time. And because of the missile strike, 2 more leaders, and they were Ganesh Ahom and Pradeep Ahom, they also lost their lives. Now, in this strike, the 𝗤𝗏𝗏 Independent claims that 19 cadres have been eliminated. They have been killed, and 19 others were injured. I don't know this magical figure of 19. Probably it is at Bata price, 99 rupees 95 paisa. That is why 𝗤𝗏𝗏 is maintaining. If they say 20, then it becomes a bigger figure, so they keep it to 19. So 19 people killed and 90. Yes, please, sir.
Wait, Col Chaubey, I used to play cricket when I was a kid. And at a certain level, the newspaper will start publishing names of who scored how much and things like that. For the cutoff point for publishing the name was that you had to score 25 runs. So match will be over. You would have gotten out for 19. Your good friend would have gotten out for 8. And you do bargaining. Before we send the scoreboard to the newspaper, you do bargaining. Tu mujhe 6 run de de. Nothing else can be changed. Nothing else can be changed.
So, childhood
So maybe
comes
that's
back
what
to
happened here.
Very, very interesting thing. And sir, they say that 150 plus drones were employed. So really, you know what happens when the adversary gives you these figures, you feel elated. कि भाई दुश्मन ने हमारी तस्दीक की है कि हमारे पास में ये सब कुछ है. And they specified. I don't know how did they specify that these drones were Israeli manufactured and French manufactured. So I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, the French also giving us drones. So from Rafales they have transferred to drones. I heard that Operation Sindoor, the Pakistanis, they downed some drones and they thought that they have downed Rafales, but here it is the other way around. They say that drones from France came along with the drones from Israel. Okay, accepted. They came and they hit the targets, and this loss happened. Now, the Indian officials, our PRO in the East, he is Lieutenant Colonel 𝗵𝗫𝗻𝗀 Rawat. He says that there are no inputs that any such operation has been carried out. So the Eastern Command PRO is also relying on some inputs that no operation has carried out. Now, the best part was that the Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Hemant Biswa Sarma, he says that the police was also not involved in any operation. Sir, what is happening is after Sindoor, every force, be it police force or paramilitary force or the armed forces, they are now running neck to neck when it comes to the adversary of India. In Operation Sindoor, you would recollect that the BSF had taken down one launch pad of Pakistan. So Hemant Biswa Sarma was very right when he came and denied that the police was not involved. So I give him full marks for that, sir.
So let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, Colonel Saab. We know that China was aiding them. In fact, China has been doing this for a long time. And in 1971, interestingly, this is something that you can also cast some light on. My information, according to B. Raman, Bahukutumbi Raman, who was a very distinguished raw official, he said that inexplicably, Mrs. Gandhi took out all our assets from the newly created Bangladesh.
Yes.
And that gave room for the ISI to come back and grow their network again. 1971. So here we are talking about 2 or 3 groups that have suffered quite a bit. And this message is for whom? Is it for China or for the United States? Because United States wants to have a humanitarian corridor around this place. I mean, many of my brothers and sisters in America will be, curious to know what exactly is happening. What is America's stand? Because America is loud silent, nothing.
No, not a single tweet from the POTUS.
Yes.
Sir, interestingly, all these groups which are operating on our east, if we take the case of NSCN, so NSCN fought for some time and the insurgency was pretty strong. But then the NSCN Isaac Moiba group, they came to terms and they sat together on the table along with the government of India, and they decided that, okay, we will leave this armed struggle. But the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 group, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, he refused to accept it. So the NSCN broke into NSCN IM, which was Isaac Moiba, which was in conversation with the government, and NSCN 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was against this. And as a result, NSCN IM and NSCN K, they became each other's enemies. So what happens is that NSCN K is now being funded, aided, abetted, whatever you call, by the Chinese. That is a known fact. Similarly, ULFA came to the table and they readily agreed to join hands with the government and speak of peace. But there was a faction, and incidentally, this faction didn't have much ground support. The Paresh Barua group. So he decided that no, we will have an independent ULFA and we'll keep on fighting. So they went across the border and they started to camp. Now they were all camping with all those forces which were being aided and abetted by the Chinese. This is a known fact, and this has come in their yesterday's statement that the joint camp was hit. Now, incidentally, sir, the interesting part is that this camp could have come under fire from the Myanmar side also. So the junta forces were active in that very region and they were taking out their own insurgents. So it may be possible that these people, they came under crossfire and accidentally some drones came and hit them. POTUS negotiated ceasefire between unknown drones and known coffins. Yes. Very well said, Mr. Sree Kumar. I must admit, sir, the sense of humor of the audience is too good. And sir, this region again, the Chinese, they want to have a very beautiful road running around in that region. So now, if supposedly the Indians have eyed that region, it is a matter of concern for China. Operation Sindoor showed that the 𝗖𝗎𝗄𝗎 was not safe. Now, if this is an Indian operation, then the Chinese would be ****BRICS. Why? Because this area is also under threat from the Indians. So the Chinese have nowhere to go, and they will now look for some alternative route. So in a way, it was a message, a signal. If in case we did it, it was a beautiful signal or a message to the Chinese also that the dragon, you please keep on sleeping, don't wake up. Because the moment you wake up, you might get something back.
Colonel Saab, see, I think it's called String of Pearls, if I remember correctly. Yes, China wanted two alternatives to Malacca Straits. One was the 𝗣𝗎𝗃 corridor. And the other one was, I think it was called the BRI corridor, which came all the way from China through Myanmar. It goes to, I think, one of the ports. And from there, it was going to go into the bay and then basically avoid that part of the construction. Where do things stand now?
Sir, as you rightly said, sir, the Chinese, they have a plan of the border road Belt and Road Initiative. So the larger plan is Belt and Road Initiative, and under the Belt and Road Initiative is the 𝗖𝗎𝗃, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. They wanted a similar corridor to be running through Myanmar. Sir, you'll be surprised. They wanted to have a piece of land being slashed from the Thai Peninsula, a 152-kilometer long stretch, so that they could pass through that stretch in order to shorten the route and somehow bypass the Strait of Malacca. So the Chinese, they went to that extent that if in case they could bisect that piece of land, if you see the peninsula, it extends and there's a thin strip. So the thinnest strip would be 152 kilometers wide, and they wanted to bisect it and pass. As you said, the String of Pearls. Now the String of Pearls is under a lot of threat. Why? Because 22 countries have asked for our favorite BrahMos, and most of the countries are going to ring a ring of garnets around the String of Pearls. So this ring of garnets was by Dream Project in 2014. That if in case the Chinese can build a string of pearls, why can't I have a ring of garnets around the string of pearls? So that color combination would be beautiful. A white and maroon.
I'm going to show you the map of Thailand. Perhaps you can tell us where exactly it is. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So
yes.
Yeah.
You see the thin strip. You see the very, very thin strip here. Now, where the Myanmar, sorry, not Malaysian and Thai, the Malaysian...
Myanmar.
Sorry. The Myanmar, boundary of Myanmar, it merges with the sea. You see there's a very, very thin strip of land. That is the thinnest area in the complete bargain. So they wanted to have I think this area is 152 kilometers wide. So they wanted to have this thing bisected so that the ships could pass through this area to avoid the Strait of Malacca. They would hug these countries and then they would move northwards. This was their grand design. I don't know. Probably they have shelved it or they are not progressing with it. I'm not aware exactly as to what they are planning. So this was their grand design to bisect it, sir.
Wow. So I'm just zooming in and out. Sorry, viewers. I'm sure you can see where he is mentioning it. I'm trying to see which is that small point. Mayankji, maybe you can babysit a little bit here. So the Chinese border
I'll do
comes.
is, Sree, I'll share with you
Yeah.
the map which I have.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you, so in the next program you can flash it.
Sure.
Because
No problem.
in the next program I'm supposed to sport the symbol which you send me, sir.
Yes,
and I must thank you on air that I received it. My wife, she clicked the picture and she sent it to me. Presently, I am with my parents, so the Sengol is not here. Otherwise, it would have found its rightful place just next to me, behind me. And it's a beautiful piece. I must thank you, Sreeji, for sending it to me. Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed
my
a very
pleasure,
thoughtful
sir.
gesture.
This is the least we can do for the gift of your time. And you showed me your preparation notes. I'm just floored that something like this, you'd spend so much time going through this. Now, how many more such groups exist in Myanmar? Because I'm trying to see some sort of an end game here, because India wants to have the Kalidan project going. Kaladan project corridor going. And now with US also in the mix, I don't know how that's going to progress. It's an interesting mix. But India also wanted to go all the way down. They wanted to build a highway that went all the way across all these countries, isn't it? So
yes,
paint us the big picture. What's going to happen?
Sir, if you recollect, when Prime Minister Modi came to power, earlier we were having a look east policy.
Yes.
So from look east policy, we came to act east policy. And under the act east policy, what we did, we started working on a uninterrupted road. The uninterrupted road would bisect all these areas. It would pass through Myanmar. It would go along Thailand, then Kampuchea or Cambodia, as it is known now, and then it would go down to Vietnam. So that was the project, that we should have an uninterrupted road from all these countries. Sir, incidentally, it was in the year, I think, 2009, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was attending one of the ASEAN summits. Now, Dr. Manmohan Singh, as the Prime Minister, he proposed to the ASEAN nations that what India could do is we can extend a diplomatic arm to the ASEAN countries, 10 of them. So what happened was that India then proposed to conduct a special course for ASEAN diplomats in Delhi. And since that day, every year, a group of at least 20 diplomats from ASEAN countries, they visit Delhi, and then they visit various parts of the country. And this special course is conducted. So what happens is that this course becomes a bridge between India and the 10 ASEAN nations. And how this is fruitful, I remember, sir, I was traveling with one of these groups to ISRO, and we had one diplomat from Indonesia sitting there. And the scientist from ISRO, while briefing, he said that we have sent a number of satellites of friendly foreign countries into space. And for example, from Indonesia, we have sent 5 satellites. So the Indonesian diplomat was surprised. He said, I didn't know this. So he said, yes. Smilingly, he said, yes, we have sent 5 Indonesian satellites in air. Now, if you look at these countries, sir, Vietnam, again, a very friendly country towards India, asked for the BrahMos missile system. Vietnam is one country which can take on China head on. It has the guts to do that. The other country where the BrahMos is Philippines. Then you go down to Brunei. Brunei has asked for the BrahMos.
Just give me 1 second, sir. Along the same line, viewers, if you can see in the map, Aizawl, AIJAWL, that is the capital city of Mizoram. Broad gauge train now goes all the way up to Aizawl. This was yesterday's news. So rail connectivity has come this far. I mean, from here, it's not very far to this is almost at the border. See, this is the border. You can see my mouse, right? Aizawl is here. It's hardly, I don't know how much, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, less than that. And then you are into Myanmar. And from there, you're talking about Vietnam. So I'm just going to zoom into Vietnam, which is right here. Sir, go ahead.
Sir, now Vietnam is one country where we have a satellite tracking station working there, sir. So that is the what do you call the diplomatic heft that India exercises in this region. Vietnam is a very friendly nation towards us, and it has stood by us through thick and thin. And we have our not missile, but the satellite tracking station in Vietnam. So when we launched the satellite from Sriharikota, then till such time it is in the range of Hassan, it stays there. Then the link is set forward to Vietnam, and after Vietnam, we have got one tracking station in Brunei Darussalam. So then the tracking goes to Brunei. So this is how the satellites of this country are being tracked around the globe. So all those people who have not heard about this, this is the diplomatic heft or whatever goodwill that we have in this region, that we have our stations existing, and these are all vital stations. They are existing in this piece of land, and that is why the Prime Minister visited Brunei Darussalam when he did so.
So I'm trying to keep up with you with all the countries. So here is Brunei. And
yes.
So you said something. What are the previous point you said? Philippines.
Vietnam.
You said this is
Vietnam.
So there is Vietnam here. Yeah.
Philippines is another friendly country regarding the BrahMos deal. So if you see all these countries, Philippines, Brunei, Vietnam, they are all making a ring of garnets around a string of pearls.
Yes.
So
very true.
So what is happening is that all these 22 countries here have requested for the BrahMos missile system. Many of them will cause a certain aches in the Chinese belly. So yes. So you trouble me in one area, I am going to trouble you everywhere. So that is the policy that we have adopted. So I find a very big shift in the approach that I see. Sree Iyer, I remember I had visited the northeastern part of the country, and to my horror, I found that there was a motorable road which used to just end abruptly, and it used to become a footpath up till the Chinese border. And my question used to be, why haven't we built this road up till the border? So we were told that no, that the enemy may just cross over and roll down and come into our territory. So just to deny him access, we don't have these constructions. Today, I am very pleasantly surprised that we have broad gauge rail running till Aizawl. We have infrastructure built right up till the border. So our thought process and our strategy has changed totally. Now we want to access the borders so that the troops sitting there are fed and provided whenever they want. So that's a beautiful change, and I, as a logistician, I find that yes, this is the thing that should have been done much earlier, which is being done now. Koi baat nahi. 𝗖𝗓𝗍 𝗔𝗠𝗍, but a good thing which is happening.
Very true, and the cultural connect is so strong. But unfortunately, whether you take Vietnam or Cambodia or even Thailand to some extent, right? The culture has been tamped down. Both Vietnam and Cambodia are more or less communist regimes. So they don't want you to perform even puja in a temple. Forget about home. So they are so disconnected from their culture. They know they are, because Cambodia has this interesting mix where the kings alternated between being Buddhists and being Hindus. And, the temples also change to reflect that. But at least at heart, they are Sanatani. That's for sure. Unfortunately, there is no way to go to a temple to find that spiritual strength that was, that's needed. That's why we go to temples. And that is the one thing that is missing now. So hopefully with these road connectivities, they will, look back to, looking at, they can come back to the Sanatani fold, if you will. Communism, in these, it's not communism today is not what communism was in the Lenin period. I mean, otherwise, why would China jump up and down about Dalai Lama? What is their problem? You don't believe in God. Why do you care whether Dalai Lama is in Dharmasthala or some other place? Not Dharmasthala, sorry, Dharamshala. Dharmasthala is in deep south. Sorry.
Maybe this also would have been named Dharmasthala, sir. So from Dharmasthala it became Dharamshala.
Yes, you never know. Yes. Very true. Suren Kumar back again. He's saying private sector commercial relationship is also growing. VinFast e-vehicles producer is coming to a big way to India. They are establishing factory in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
Interesting. So let's see. I think we don't have any questions at this point of time. So if you'd like to conclude, then we can wrap up this session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. So since we are discussing Vietnam, I am reminded of one beautiful incident. So I was traveling with a group of ASEAN diplomats, and this was in the city of Bengaluru. It was 2nd of September. The 2nd of September happens to be the National Day of Vietnam. So in the hotel, I requested the chef that we will have a small cake, and on the cake, if we can make a flag of Vietnam. So the chef didn't know how the flag of Vietnam would look like. So I opened my cell and I showed him that this is the flag of Vietnam. He said, yes, sir, this is doable. I'll get it made. So it was during breakfast time that the cake was ready, and I had got it placed in a separate room. I requested all the diplomats to come inside that room. And when the Vietnamese, they found the cake on the table with the Vietnamese flag, they were highly emotional. Sir, getting to celebrate your national day on foreign land on the day, it's a big event.
Yes.
Sir. And
yes,
this was being organized by an Indian for their Vietnamese friends. So I asked them to come ahead and cut the cake. And on my YouTube, I played the anthem of Vietnam, and they were mighty thrilled. They are still in touch with me, good friends. So these small things, they always remain in your mind. So I don't forget the date of 2nd September. So that was one beautiful incident which I was reminded of.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I think let's hope that better things come. And this connectivity is crucial. India has the heft to take care of all these things. And I think China is going to, China is just fading away, if you ask me. Capital controls are in place. And only one thing that US needs to do, and this is not even something that they have to do physically, that is to unpeg the US dollar from the Hong Kong dollar. It's going to hurt a lot of US companies also. But when it does that, this whole thing is going to collapse like a pack of cards. We'll see how this thing goes. Many people are saying that US will just do that. Should China say that we are going to, or should China attack Taiwan, then it's game over. So interesting. Well, that's all I can say, because everybody has his own or her own theory about how US should deal with China, rattling its saber at Taiwan. In fact, now Japan and South Korea are also getting dragged in, because North Korea has shifted allegiances, and it is now becoming more and more of a Russian vassal rather than being a Chinese vassal. So, Sarji, geopolitics is the flavor of the week, perhaps the flavor of the year, or even maybe the decade, because a lot of things are happening. And thank you so much, Colonel Chaubey. And viewers will be back with Chaubey 2 weeks from now, for every fortnightly on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. if time permits, and if he's not traveling and if he has good connectivity, he'll be with us sharing more thoughts. Thank you so much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Sree ji. Namaskaram.